Hello and welcome to episode 18 of our Delta Green campaign, Operation Bone Box. We're playing the Iconoclasts campaign, which is set in Mosul in 2016. We've got a bit of change around of characters tonight because we actually had two fatalities in our last session. And one of the surviving players, unfortunately, or one of the surviving characters, the player of that character is unavailable tonight, unfortunately. So I'm just going to do three introductions for the moment, and then Chris and Nick will be able to do a sort of introduction of their characters are when they eventually turn up. So let's start with B.
Hi, I'm B. I play Agent Hawk, ICE Federal Agent.
Bruce.
Hi, I play Agent Jones, somewhat reluctant combat archaeologist.
but someone who does appear to have one of the highest firearm skills amongst. He's never fired a gun in anger, I don't think, but he.
No. But he's been preparing for that moment.
And then
we just have to find a set of opposition now that responds to gunfire.
True. And then Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. I play Agent Farmer, a ONI officer.
Okay, right. Now, just to have a quick reminder of where we were. So, in the last session, you were in Mosul at the ruins of Nineveh, in the middle of Mosul. Let me put up actually the ruins map, which is there. Ooh, zoom in a bit on that. And you were investigating this. Well, there's a shaft here that you'd spotted, and Agent Khar, Chris's original character, had gone on a bit of a recce, had been captured by what appeared to be some kind of, quite possibly, for want of a better phrase, cultist snatch team, and was being taken there, and he managed to engineer an escape, but in doing so ended up being chased by some form of unnatural entity, in the form of a vast amount of obsidian shards. The rest of you tried to organize some kind of rescue, in which you took a prisoner. You actually captured two prisoners, and Agent Pink, Nick's original character, did execute one of those before you withdrew. And then when you got back to your OP, I think at that point when it became clear you were going to have to run for it, I think, am I right? Agent Ping executed the other one. I think that's right.
No, shard came out of him.
Oh, that was a shard. That was it. Yes,
a
shard came out of him. Yes, that was it. Yes. And Agent Khar attempted to escape, was eventually surrounded by shards that held off killing him, and then a guard who I think it was a guard that Agent Khar had previously knocked out, or sorry, not knocked out, had disarmed, came and sort of seemed to be the mouthpiece for the whatever this unnatural entity is, and seemed to sort of speak for it as such, and tried actually to recruit Agent Khar. Agent Khar refused and was then flayed and had all his skin peeled off by these obsidian shards, resulting quite possibly, I can't remember if it was madness and then death or just death. I can't remember which it was, but I think it was both. Yes. And the rest of you got into two vehicles and fled. And in one vehicle, which I think had the 50 cal mounted on it, I think the Sandman driving with Jones and Farmer on it. And then the other vehicle had Hawk and Pink in it, with Hawk driving. And you have ended up being split up and separated, and Agent Pink, realizing that the shards were rapidly gaining on your vehicle, decided to bail out and ensure that Hawk got away, sacrificing himself very nobly, but also thereby, well, Tom is shaking his head at the noble sacrifice. But it also gave an opportunity, and I think it was Sandman was able, because the shards were now not in the ruins of Nineveh, which is a World Heritage Site, because they were now just in some random streets in Mosul. He was able to call in an airstrike from a drone, which hit shards, big explosion, and Pink also went through, I think, insanity followed by death as his skin was sliced off. But I think his was possibly slightly quicker because a missile struck. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's where we sort of left it. So Hawk is in one vehicle, and the other three are in another vehicle, and you are driving, trying to escape. Now, Hawk, let's start with you. Right. Bear in mind also that you're still disguised as a man.
I mean, is it holding up?
Well,
To be honest.
at some point there may be it may be necessary for Agent Khar to make a retrospective disguise check for how he disguised you. It was automatic success to start with, but clearly things are a little more frayed, and you've been rushing around, and most importantly, probably sweating very profusely with the adrenaline of action stroke fear, whichever
Yeah.
you feel is appropriate.
Hawk has no intentions of stopping the vehicle until she's as far away as she feels comfortable.
Where are you
So-
trying to drive?
Away.
Right. Actually, let's move
The
to the
clearest
wider
route, wherever it goes, she always is going to take the clearest route. She's not even thinking about a direction. She's just going. So wherever there is less traffic, she will keep taking those roads. So it is completely up to you where she ends up.
Right.
And she will not stop.
And
So there you go. She learnt Car's lesson of it doesn't matter the destination.
Look how
Just-
fast you get there.
Yeah. That was one of Car's lessons. So
right, Carr was trying to put distance. He just
yeah.
you kept failing your athletics checks, unfortunately. Yep. Right. Can you please make me a luck check, please, Agent Hawk?
Okay.
You are
Double
lucky.
success.
Right. Okay. And also, at the present moment, both vehicles are fitted with what I think they call it RFID chips.
I think they're IR strobes.
No,
Oh,
they're not. They're actually electronic signals.
oh, okay.
But they are
IFF basically.
IFF. That's what I mean. You've got those. Yeah, you've got those, but they are currently turned off because you know that Daesh have. I mean, probably not in downtown Mosul, to be fair, but certainly around Mosul, where there's more risk of infiltration. They have. They are actively trying to detect vehicles that are transmitting these. So you used it in the countryside, but once you got into Mosul, or got close to Mosul rather, you turn them off. So Hawk, you know you have this, and the moment you turn that on, you know that your back at base will be able to find you. Yeah, but the thing you find with your luck roll is you're suddenly finding yourself driving over a bridge. So you are going over the river, and you're now, unless something's gone really weird, are now on the western bank of the Tigris River. Okay.
Western Bank.
The other three of you, yeah. So Sandman's driving, but Jones and Farmer, are both of you in the front cab? I can't remember. I think you are.
I think we all were, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you wish? What are you three doing?
I want to. Cause, we've got the laptop still,
Mhm.
because John's remembered to pick it up. I want to check the drone footage to see what happened after the explosion. See if there's anything there.
Right. Make me. What's your computer science skill?
Like 60.
Make me a skill check at -20, please.
Okay. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Computer science -20.
Yep.
Oh,
Right. The area is quite heavily damaged. You can see no sign of Agent Pink. There's a crater in the road. There doesn't appear to be anything moving there.
cool. In that case, I'll look at the other two and go, fuck. Yeah, so Pink's gone. Nothing there. Don't see any movement from any shards or anything. Who wants to tell the bosses back at base? Okay, don't volunteer all at once.
Are you Sorry, are you talking to Jones and Sandman,
Yeah,
or are you talking on the radio to? Okay,
Jones
sorry, apologies.
Yeah, they're in the cab with me.
What are we going to say?
Successful strike on target. No movement.
Do you think the strike took it out?
Not the full thing. Maybe that little bit of it. There's no way that full thing came out. There wasn't enough there.
I mean, that was only part of it.
Listen, it wasn't that big of a dust cloud, and we know how big the inside of that thing is. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I don't think that's the end of it.
Made pretty short work of that.
Yeah.
I hate to think if it was all there, how quickly it would go through the rest of us.
Yeah. On the positive side, it might be that they haven't completed any rituals yet, so it hasn't able to get all of its stuff out. I mean, what do you know of those rituals? That you've been reading the books, do you think they've completed anything? I mean, we heard what Khar was saying.
It's hard to say. I don't know. The rituals were not clear. Khar and I were splitting the task between us. I know. I think the Elder Sign. We know what that does. We saw what it did.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to banish that creature back to its origins. What they are doing, I don't know. What rituals they are using, we don't have any information, Andy, do we, about the rituals that they're...
Nope.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that the only thing you'd be able to surmise is they're definitely collecting prisoners. And from what Khar said, he was placed in a chamber, a cave, something like that, where there were other people. Or you didn't get put in there. I'm trying to if Khar got put in there. I think
he sort of
he saw
his way out.
Yeah, but he saw that. I think he saw where other people were being kept.
Yeah.
My best guess is they're not doing rituals. That creature is present in this in this world, they're gathering an army, whether volunteer or conscripted.
And we can't fuck up Nineveh.
Nick, could you just roll me a percentage dice? It's a luck check for Sandman, 50 or less. In fact, actually, sorry, no, wrong. Let me give you, because Mark's like, I'm going to give you access to Sandman's character sheet. Can you roll me a navigate check for him? Let me just give you access.
He's the father of war. The Allies are going to come into this place. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's just going to fuel his power, I suspect.
Have you got access now, Nick?
No. All I can
Okay,
see
so-
is his bio
Oh,
page.
sorry, I let you see it rather than access it. Sorry.
There we go.
So
Any penalties or
Nope.
additional? So it's just straight navigate.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So we can't send
Well, there we
anybody
go.
in.
I think we
Because-
have to come back here and deal with it before the Allies decide to invade.
Right. Okay.
I can't be for sure, but that amount of bloodshed and death can only fuel his power.
Do you know what? I think you're right with that one. Ooh.
As you
Actually, Mr.
two,
Andy, I just had an idea. I
Sorry,
want to
let
check
me just-
something with you.
okay, let me just tell you something. Sandman has been making best judgment guesses on sort of trying to drive using his knowledge of the maps he studied, and suddenly you two realise you're driving over the river,
Right.
not on the same bridge that you crossed by originally.
So at least we know we're heading in the right direction. Cool.
Mhm.
Andy, so can you pull up that map of Nineveh again? Because I just need to check something on there. Excellent. Right. Okay. Cool. So that is how wide was that river going through it? I don't think it was that wide, was
No,
it?
it's not that wide. It's there's a ford here. It's crossable in other places. I mean, there's a bridge
Okay,
here,
well, that's
but
fine.
if you were to
Which-
cross it there, say, you'd get wet.
Yeah, no. So, what direction is the river flowing? Is it flowing east to west or west to east?
Right, hang on a sec. Sorry, bear with a sec.
You have to look up the river currents.
No.
Circa
It's
2016. Make sure we get realistic information here.
it is flowing east to west because it's that's the part of it there, and
That's
then
a tributary.
and it's a
into
tributary of the
Tigris.
Tigris. Yeah.
Cool. So, one of the ideas. Could we flood it? Would that help? Or slow it down? If we broke the banks?
We've seen no evidence that moving water affects it in any way. I don't think I've read anything about that.
Okay, so it's right.
Oh, that sounds like combat
They
engineering
might
work.
slow
Maybe I
down
should have been
his
Agent
followers.
Kowalski.
Yeah.
But itself, that creature itself, I think will just fly straight over it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there must be the Western mythology stuff. Shit. Okay.
I think speed and a reckless driving ability will serve us best. Get back to base.
Right.
Okay, and can I go? So one thing then. In that case, I'm going to have to get into the equipment that I used to have when I was a CB. I want a flamethrower. Area of effects. Melt stuff. Only the CBs had access to it. Only the construction people have access to it because it's for a site clearance. You're not allowed to use those
That's something
weapons anymore.
that's something you'd have to sort out once you're back at base.
Yeah. But I'm running the idea. When I'm running the idea past Jones first. Do you think a flamethrower is going to be better than a rifle or grenades at this point?
I feel like this is something the Sandman might know, since it's
Yes,
weapon
actually.
systems. Not to speak for Sandman here, but I imagine from what we've seen, both from the footage and the initial video that we watched, that started this whole thing, and also from what we've seen, yeah, a conventional firearm seemed to have little effect. A flamethrower might be more effective, considering it's a wide area weapon that generates high heat. But obsidian is very heat resistant.
That's what Agent Jones was going to say. We might just end up having superheated obsidian shards flying around.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, I like that as an idea. Thank you. Right.
Oh no.
Right. Okay.
But we do know
Or a
that
shard
height
going
explosive
through the tank.
did have an impact on it.
So say that
You know,
again, please, Bruce.
obsidian's quite fragile, quite brittle.
So grenades.
That might be more effective.
Bigger, but
you
yes.
Explosives in general.
Okay.
Anything that
I
can
can do
generate
that.
concussion wave.
Right.
I could do that. Do that.
So back to Hawk. Okay, you've crossed the bridge. Bear in mind it's night time, just to be clear. So there's not very. The streets are quite. They're not deserted, but they're pretty empty. Though actually now you've crossed the river, there's a little bit more people around, but it's still quite empty. What are you're just driving, trying to get out of?
Out of most,
At most. Yep. Okay.
basically get into somewhere where I can recognise that I'm going to more of a rural area to then find my bearings. I think
Okay.
possibly if I've crossed the river, I would want to stop flee mode. Obviously, still obviously in flight, but more of a taking awareness of my surroundings and get a direction.
Okay. Give me another luck check. Because I don't think you're attempting to navigate. You're just sticking to main roads and.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yep. Okay. What is your alertness skill?
It is alertness 51.
You're driving along and you suddenly realise that you've just passed by to the north of that warehouse where that Russian team was based. Which, just to be clear, is here.
Yeah.
You've seen the map. Yep.
So I'm north of it. How far north? As in, like
No,
up here?
No. You've just.
I'm on this road.
You're on this road, just driven past it.
Okay.
So you're now approaching this roundabout up here, big junction up here.
Okay.
Okay. Give me another navigate check for Sandman, please.
We probably want to be thinking about going south, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
So that's how we came in.
Well,
Yes,
you
we came
came. Did you? No, you came in from. You came in
the
on
west.
this road here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you don't. I mean, you can arrange an exit for everyone.
Where did we have our? Was the pickup at the same point as the drop off?
Pickup was a nebulous location to be confirmed later, because there wasn't a predetermined pickup, because you didn't know how long you were staying or whether you would need to be picked up on the eastern side of the river, etc.
Okay. In that case, can I radio Agent Hawk and Agent. I should just get to the radio quickly. Just call for Hawk and Pink.
Well, you know what happened to Pink, don't you?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do?
You
You
see
were
the
on
video.
Yeah,
the
we do.
radio.
Okay.
You were
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, in that case,
Yeah.
yeah. Just Hawk then.
Yeah.
I think after I passed that warehouse, I've sort of a little way up, I've pulled over to the side of the road, and stopped the vehicle.
Mhm.
And she's having a moment of just holding her head for a second, probably when this
Okay.
radio call
You can
comes
talk by
through.
radio.
Hawk, this is Farmer. Are you still around?
Yeah, just about. What's up?
Right. Where are you? Can't see you.
On the road north of our friend's warehouse.
Right.
Where are
Where
you
do you
guys?
want to? Not quite there yet.
Sandman says, because he's just made another navigate check, we've just gone past some signs for the Mosul General Hospital, so we're somewhere to the north of it here.
Right. Okay. Do you remember the road we came in on?
Yep.
Let's meet up on that road, yeah?
All right. She starts moving again. She starts the car.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a navigate check, please, from Agent Hawk?
No. It was bound to be. I have 10.
Yeah, you can tick it at least. Right. Right. Can I then have a luck check from Agent Hawk?
Yeah.
Right.
About right.
Yep. Okay. You have got yourself turned around. You're not sure where you are now. The other three of you have got onto the road and got the sort of houses are becoming quite scattered. You're somewhere around about here now. It's now, by the way, it'll be dawn in a couple of hours' time. At which point, because there's very early prayers, so there are now starting to be increased numbers of people around.
So if we pull over just outside of. Okay, I'm going to butcher this. Al Halabaya?
Something like that. Yeah. And okay.
Yeah. Apologise if I, because I know I mispronounced it. And actually, we'll call Hawk again and go, how long going to be?
I don't know where the fuck I am. I don't know where I am.
Okay. Okay. Any signs?
I think. Well, I don't know where I am.
Give me another
He
luck.
doesn't know where
Give me another luck check.
Cool. I'm in London.
Right. You've just driven past the warehouse again, but this time you're heading east, not west. So you're going the wrong direction back towards the river. So you're sort of going towards this junction here. So from that,
Yeah.
Can we give directions? Is it, we've got a known point and a known direction now.
yeah,
we can just pull
okay.
the map up.
Yeah, okay. So we'll spend that. So it takes about another hour to help Hawk get back to you. So it's about an hour before dawn by the time you meet up. Okay, but you're now all out, sort of here. And you remember that on this road, there were numbers of roadblocks and armed roadblocks, and there were if you remember, Khar talked his way through them last time, but Khar unfortunately is not here anymore.
What's
Uh,
this up
do
here?
do we meet up like on the road before we start
Yeah.
driving
Yeah.
off again? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there
Mr.
any
Andy.
chance that we can go off road?
Yeah.
Yep.
What's
Before
this
we-
bit here? That I'm pinging.
Um,
Find the M for Mosul and then just
Yeah.
go straight north.
I'd have to look at a proper map to go and consult that. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it's something like an airport based on that.
Private airport.
Might be an airport or something. Oh no, most airports there. It's on the map. I don't know
Yeah.
what that is. I'd have to. I need to look at Google Maps and
Okay.
try and suss it out.
Okay. In that case, Hawk, what's you like with longitude, latitude, grid coordinates, and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I've got a 10 in navigate, so I'll give you a
Okay.
wild guess.
Right. First of all, so both vehicles about. Are you sticking at 3 in one vehicle, one another, or is someone joining Hawk?
What do you want to do, folks? Do you want to pile into one, split into two?
Better to have more vehicles in case one breaks down, I'd guess.
Okay. So, do you want to jump in with Hawk, or do you want me to jump in with Hawk? I'm not fussed.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. So Jones moves
Cool.
across, and then you make your way. Now you're going to go cross country, yeah? Okay. With the navigate skill of Sandman, you are able to just go cross country and start trying to avoid anything and stuff like that. And it takes time, but by about early afternoon, you're quite a few kilometers away from Mosul. I mean, quite a long way off this map, and into sort of areas where you can call in a
So when
liftoff.
when we were just heading out, then
Yep.
just before we head out, can I say right? Pulling out paper maps and going right. Where asking Sandman, where's a good place to meet up?
Yep.
And can we get a fair amount of time out, and we'll ask for a pickup?
Yep. Do you want? Are you in immediate danger? Do you want a daytime pickup, or do you want to find somewhere to hold up for the night? Sorry, for the day, and then get picked up at night.
6 of one, half dozen of another.
And you're not in immediate danger, so
No.
Standard operating procedure would be for you to hole up and then get picked up at night. So
Yeah.
Let's just sort of narrate stuff a little bit. Sorry, wait a sec. Oh, feedback again. Sorry, I'm just noting up things in my timeline. Okay, so you get you lay up for the rest of the day, and the enormity of what you've been through sort of starts to sink in and stuff. So can the four of you please make me sand checks?
Okie doke. Straight, Sam?
Oh, damn.
So Hawk failed, Jones succeeded, Farmer failed. Nick, could you just roll for Sandman as well, please?
Yep. All right. Let's see. Sanity.
If you fail, you lose a point of SAN for the sort of emotional distress about losing colleagues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Agent Jones is a bit hardened to it all, it appears. Yeah. So
muted.
Now that we're just traveling, I'm actually going to get like some photos. Not some photos. I'm just start thinking of some stuff that's happened in when I was deployed, when I was a CB.
Right.
So I'm going to use my CB's unit, like friends and memories and good times and stuff.
Yep.
Whilst we're in the desert, so using the bonds.
Right. So now
Okay.
that now we haven't done this before because I keep forgetting about it. Now where's that gone? I need to remember the rule. I have not read this for a long time. Is it under bonds? Makes sense.
Would make sense.
So you don't have to actually be present with those bonds. You can do it as a
No,
kind of.
yeah, it's essentially you can offset some sanity loss by degrading the relationship with your bonds.
Oh,
And
right,
then
no,
it
in that
reflects
case,
that on downtime.
I
yeah.
think that's how it works.
Yes, that is how it works.
In that case, to be fair, I'll just take that 1 point anyway. But it's just going to be like a mental thing because it's not a huge amount of sand loss. It's just a.
Is anyone getting a lot of feedback?
Yeah,
It's-
it seems to be on Bruce's end.
I
Oh,
thought it was.
I thought it was Andy's.
It was Andy's end. It's like a
Let me
frayed
mute
wire.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think,
no, I think it's Andy's.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a frayed wire as you're moving about. That's what it sounds like.
I can't hear anything. But
Now,
No,
no.
it's not now. No, okay,
Yeah,
it's gone away. We'll leave it for a moment. I think it's me, but I can't figure out what it is. Right. Okay. Right. We'll figure out that there is an option somewhere. I need to go and reread it about offsetting significant sand loss, sand loss with by degrading a bond. But it's generally best done when it's a substantial number.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or a critical point.
So I'm just going to do it as a RP thing then.
Yep. Sure.
Instead of anything else.
Okay. Now, while you're laid up for the day, and sort of thinking about things and so on,
where are we?
you are. So you're laid up for the day. So let's go to now.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. You are to the west of Mosul. You've basically driven to a place where you can easily access where you're going to be picked up, but then laid up for the day until it's nighttime when a helicopter can come safely to pick you up. Okay.
Do we have access to communication with like Stuart and
Absolutely,
Juliet and
because Juliet actually sends you sends a message via Farmer's laptop. Right. She gets on the radio to you all and says, "I need to send you I can play you the recording, but shortly after we lost Khar and Pink, there's a conversation that Al Jabri's had in Arabic with someone. He's still in that house. He doesn't appear to have moved. He's had a conversation with someone that we've picked up on his phone that Farmer had turned into a listening device. And it's a one-sided. We can only hear one person. So it's a one-sided phone call. So one kind of conversation. But it doesn't appear to be a phone call because his phone is inactive, and there's no other phones active in that, as far as we can tell. There's nothing else been picked up on cell towers as active phone calls at that time. So he's talking to someone, but we can only hear half the conversation, and we don't know where the other person is. Okay.
What's he saying?
I'm going to show you now. Did a handout just pop up?
Yes.
Yep.
So It's a one conversation that Al-Jabri has with another party who's unseen and unheard. I haven't said here, it's in Arabic. It was recorded via his own cell phone, but the cell phone was not being used at the time. No other cell phones appear to be active in Al-Jabri's location, and that location is that house. The space between entries are where the other party appears to be replying. So Al-Jabri says, first of all, we must regroup, my father, so that you can recover your strength. And then after a little while he says, yes, my father, but we do not know where it is. Someone killed the guards I placed near the throne of blood and removed it. I do not know if they are enemies or just thieves. It is very valuable. There's another pause. That language is English, my father. It is strange that he spoke that language, but there are members of the religious police, which he claimed he was, who come from other countries. It may be that he spoke his native language in that moment. It is also the language of the Americans, allies of the infidels who besieged Mosul. But I do not think that this man was an American in their service. Another pause. And then Al-Jabri speaks again. Not dismiss him, my father. The Americans are cowards hiding behind their allies and are not brave enough to enter Mosul, and I think that they are even less aware of your presence than the leaders of Daesh. So I do not think that we need worry about the men from this evening. Your will is absolute, but I think that we need to continue with the plan and not worry about interference. Before I served you, there were too many bodies and too many questions. Recruiting worshippers slowly poses less risk, and we approach the point where you can send out seeds to other cities. Another break. I'm your loyal servant, my father, and I will do as you command, but I still advise caution. We must go slowly, otherwise we risk revealing your presence. Another break. I agree, my father. America would be a good place to send seeds to, but we will need vessels who will not arouse suspicion in that land. Americans are different to us. I still advise you make Baghdad, Raqqa, Aleppo, Damascus, and Basra your initial targets. Yes, my father. I will do. It will be as you command.
Holy
Okay.
cow.
Okay.
Okay.
And obsidian shards are not going to show up on a metal detector.
Yeah.
That-
Throne of
That's
Blood. That
Joe's
was
first
the
thought.
yeah.
Gonna go
Um,
straight through customs.
This is a Tom question. Throne of Blood was the amphora.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That massive, great bronze
Yeah.
amphora.
Yeah.
Okay. Just right. Just while you're digesting that, I'm just going to sort of narrate a bit more. So, you're undisturbed that day. Spot a few bizarrely in the middle of a war. A few shepherds with a flock get slightly close to your position, but don't get too close. And that night, a pickup is arranged, and your helicopter lands, Chinook lands, and picks your two vehicles up, and you're transported back to your base at Kirkuk Airport. Okay. Where someone needs to report in to Colonel Gwyn.
I was planning to do that anyway. I wanted a conversation with him, if possible.
Okay. So should we start with that?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be just me, but obviously I was going to do it during the time, but you skipped us forward. But...
Okay. Oh, actually, no. So let's do it before you get back.
No. But it might be if she knows that we're going to be heading home. It's probably sensible not to have anything overheard.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Colonel Gwyn says, Agent Hawk, what's the latest situation, please?
We followed our trail of hints back to the ruins of Nineveh. Agent Khar found his way inside under the guise of a streetwalker. Was taken by some guards and was close to entering the underground what seems to be a base of operations for this entity
And where is this? Sorry, in somewhere in Mosul.
in the ruins of Nineveh.
Okay,
Did I say ruins of Nineveh?
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just
Yeah,
double
yeah, yeah.
checking.
And I'll if we've already figured out like the longitude, latitude sort of location
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah.
I'll give him that information. I'm sure we would have had at this point a semi typed up
Yeah.
important info that I can
Yeah.
literally ping across to
Yep.
him as we're talking, so he can skim read. Agent Khar needed to be extracted as he had found himself in a bit of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
The team made our way in. Unfortunately, things got a bit complicated, and the drone footage seemed to have picked up that Khar was approached by this cloud of shards,
Okay.
and then frankly disintegrated by it.
Okay, so we've lost Agent Khar.
I haven't finished.
Okay.
Then on our way out, as we had to leave quite quickly, our vehicles were split. Myself and Agent Pink were in a vehicle being pursued by the cloud, and it was gaining on us. Agent Pink made the decision to, I think, give me more time, ejected himself from the vehicle, and I believe it was Sandman and Farmer's efforts that had coincided with an airstrike on the location, so we could do something.
So
We have also lost Pink.
so you've lost Pink and Khar, but you have done some damage to the entity.
So it
We don't
seems,
know.
but we've lost 2 members of our team because we've come into a situation of which we are thoroughly unprepared for. We have not the skills to deal with the thing in front of us.
So
And
what do you need?
we need help.
Right.
We
What?
need
Okay. Yeah.
something. We need
Okay.
bodies. We need people that have the skills to
What?
help us with what we're doing.
What? Okay. I understand that. Can you be more specific as what those skills are?
So we need somebody to replace the research that Carl was helping
What research?
Jones with.
What research was?
We need somebody that can read and write Aramaic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically Aramaic. Yeah.
For what purpose?
And preferably with a low SAN.
Because apparently the only thing to stop this is by using supernatural means. Because nothing we're fucking doing is enough. Nothing we're doing
Okay.
is actually making a dent in this thing. I'm not done.
Okay.
Uh,
I did warn
We
you
have
that
had too much.
I did warn you that
Yeah.
hypergeometry is something that is risky to meddle with, but it appears that you're in a situation where it might be necessary.
Yeah. Oh
What
god,
is
yeah.
it?
The only thing we found that is potentially helping is massive explosions.
Okay. Those can be arranged as it is cleaved on one already, but the ruins of Nineveh does present certain problems there. But
Yeah.
if necessary, missiles do accidentally sometimes go off course, and uh, um, remember that Daesh are actively damaging parts of Nineveh. So if part of it was to be damaged further as an effort to combat this entity, then that would be understandable. But just going back, what are you trying? What is someone needing to read this in Aramaic?
There is a ritual, we believe, that will banish the creature back to its place of origin.
Okay, what is that ritual called? Bruce, sorry,
Something about path closed or something
closing
like
the
that?
breach is what?
Closing the breach?
Okay, so
And we believe that if we seal the large amphora, is it amphora? What we call it?
Yeah.
If we seal that, we believe that's some sort of gateway to its place of origin.
Okay.
We believe that's how they would. Well, I mean, I can't remember exactly what we know, but in my mind, it's some sort of thing they carried around as a ritual way of summoning him, but it's really just a portal into another something.
Okay.
We've got the amphora. It's all sealed up physically, but we haven't done
that
any
wouldn't
ritual
stop
on it
him.
because we don't know if we need to put it back in before we can shut the door.
It was sealed originally with the Elder Sign, so I'm thinking we do the same. If that's what the ancients did to seal him up.
Yeah, but do we need to put it back in, or can we just seal it from now? Because it's just next door.
Didn't we?
It's just in
Didn't
the room
somebody
next door.
find something about the fact that amphora went back to? It had like no bottom, or it wasn't like a container.
When we didn't hear any,
Armor.
when I dropped
Yeah.
something in it, we didn't hear it clatter in the bottom at all. It just
You
fell
have
when there was no
you have
noise.
very deliberately not looked inside it. None of you have done that. Your only testing of that is dropping things inside, and you have the stopper. Remember, it's actually on the. Are you on the same screen as me? Yeah, it's actually there. There's a picture of it there, but there's actually a handout for it as well. And I think you had. I think you'd done this. I think Farmer had examined it and discovered that the stopper had been hit by a bullet and cracked.
I thought it was broken.
Yeah, it was broken. So
Has
we
it
have
not
just
been? Have we not redone it since then? Has it
no.
not been
All we did,
refixed? Okay.
no, we literally glued it together, put it back in the amphora, and then I welded a cage around it.
Okay.
So
I thought
yeah,
we'd
we
fixed
haven't.
it. I thought that was one of the things that was
No,
researched. Okay.
super
I
glue
got the
fixes a
impression
lot of stuff.
that the
Yeah.
that the ritual was broken by the fact the seal had been broken. That's what I'd assumed. I mean, maybe that's not the case. I didn't
You're
think that the crazy glue was going to work.
I think from because you now know the Elder Sign, you know that the Elder Sign there, once it's broken, it loses its power. It needs to be reinvigorated, probably recasting the spell.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
So we need somebody who can do magic, goofy, woo woo, wibbly shit. Who's actually got a bit more skill than. No offense, Jones,
Well,
but you've only just started reading this stuff.
No, and I can't read Aramaic, so.
So
right.
someone who. So you need someone who can ideally read Aramaic. Well, sorry, who can read Aramaic, or ideally actually is able to cast this closing the breach spell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know of anyone, but I shall make some inquiries. Sorry, I don't know anyone who can cast a spell. I'm sure there are other people we can find who can speak Aramaic. The problem is they probably won't be able to pass as locals. And then it sounds like as well, if things are getting more active, then some more muscle might be in order as well.
Yeah. Somebody else who can blow shit up at least as good as me, if not better.
Okay.
Or hawk grenades at it. You know, if we can't blow big things up, we can at least break up these swarms with grenades.
Okay. Let me see. I shall come back to you on this. I shall also arrange relevant details for Khar and Pink for their families.
Yeah, there will be no remains recovered, I'm afraid.
No, I had assumed that.
I was very
Okay.
impressed by it. Out of character. One was repriced by a missile. The other one was torn to shreds by obsidian shards. So,
There is actually a skinned corpse of Khar lying in the middle.
no, there's not. Nope. I'm not picturing that. Nope.
There's a photograph of it that
Nope.
the one of the drones has taken. If you want it,
Nope.
right,
You're good.
right, okay.
Don't worry, pink is everywhere.
Okay.
There. I think a bit of him
See,
got over there.
I'm kind of
Omnipresent.
torn about Pink's decision if he was smart or stupid, because Doc sacrificed himself, but then somebody messed with Doc, and you don't mess with Doc.
Yes, well. At the end of the day, Super Doc's job is to get people home, and he got people home.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you've obviously got that. You've got that recording of Al Jabri. Anything you want to discuss amongst yourselves on that front?
Well, it doesn't look like the timeline has changed. They're going to stick with the timeline. They're not speeding it up. They're not thinking it's enough of a threat to move either. So I think they're going to be where we left them. I also think that we've got the perfect bait as well now with that amphora. I mean, if they were using the amphora to protect the Father of War from sunlight so it can be moved around, that means that the Father of War is stuck wherever the tunnels are and wherever they stretch to. So it's sort of contained at the minute. Ooh, I've just had an idea. Can we set up the amphora at the entrance and then just drop some big rounds to actually pierce the tunnels behind it so sunlight goes into it, so he runs away from the sunlight towards the amphora? Blue sky thinking?
Well, I don't think we need to drive him towards the
The
amphora.
sunshine.
The information that we got about the closing the breach ritual was that it would just dismiss him immediately. We didn't need the amphora.
So we don't need to be in its presence then.
In the creature's presence.
So sorry, we need to be in the creature's presence, but we don't need the amphora there to trap it.
There was nothing there saying that. Yeah, no, that was the confusion that we had right before we left Naval. Was the amphora's got nothing to do with trapping him. The ritual was a standalone; it will just banish him. And so I would assume that the amphora was kind of like a genie's bottle kind of situation. But the fact that it sort of is endless, well, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't dismiss that, but yeah, it's a bit confused. I mean, we haven't even considered the option of destroying the amphora.
It is just metal. We know a bullet broke the seal, so that means that the amphora can be destroyed.
Don't know. I mean, it could be a really bad thing. It could release that dimension into our dimension and consume it completely. It might, we're not. Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, but the historical text that we were reading suggested that his army carried the amphora around. So it's obviously a way of summoning him more. A point of emission, if you like. But it's obviously not necessary because he's out there right now.
What if he needs it to recharge himself? It's a throne, it's like a seat, he needs it to heal, to rest.
It does say
if his slaves are carrying it around for him, it's clearly more than just a cage. It's something that he needed, potentially.
He didn't
So
seem particularly bothered, and they did want it, but it wasn't like he was screaming and shouting, and like it was the major sort of like we have to get this or everything is done for.
We do know that he's also weak at the minute, or weaker anyway.
maybe this is the amphora was a way for him to rest during the daytime hours,
Maybe.
because
Maybe shout.
wherever you go, there's not guaranteed to be an underground bunker waiting for you to hide you from the sun.
Okay.
If he
Yeah, that makes sense.
So potentially the amphora is actually something that helps him. The stopper is the key to all of this. The stopper is the lock on the bedroom.
You're saying it's some sort of extra planar parasol, then?
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah,
Nice.
Right.
It is
Okay.
I like that.
definitely a way to describe it. Yes.
It's currently Wednesday, the 13th of April. Are you okay? Is it? I think you would be taking some time, almost sort of. This is the day you've got back from your. Sorry, you've been picked up that night, actually. So sorry. That pickup is at night. So actually, it will now be the morning of the 14th of April. Are you okay? Is there anything you immediately want to do? I mean, I imagine you're decompressing and resting after the stress. Essentially, am I okay to move it on a day and have a flight arrive with some new arrivals?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only thing I want to do is to actually, without telling these guys, I want to have a look at the amphora and see if it is actually, just breakable. Does it actually react like standard bronze reacts
Okay.
to simple tests like metallurgy tests and things like that?
Okay. Can you give me, please, hang on a sec. It will be a search check, please.
Okay. Straight search.
Yes. So, what is your search skill before you roll?
42.
Yeah, please roll.
Ooh.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not rolling well today at all.
What amphora? Where's it gone?
What's an amphora? Wow, that is your second fumble
That
Yeah.
in
that's
a
not
row.
bronze. Some other metal.
Oh, I know what it is. It's ancient gold because that looks like bronze. So gold is softer than bronze.
Totally. Higher melting point.
Yeah.
Sorry, lower melting
Lower
point.
melting,
Lower
yeah.
melting.
Yeah, lower melting point.
Yeah.
Totally.
Test that flamethrower on it.
Yeah. Don't tempt me, Frodo. I mean, the C4 is still strapped to it anyway. So we can take that off.
No.
Okay. Right. With your skills, I mean, it's a half-ton weight of bronze. It is big. It is thick bronze. It could definitely be destroyed. Yes, it's not easy. The C4 you've got blood on will smash it to pieces. They won't disintegrate it or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Late on Thursday, the 14th of April, a flight arrives. And you're informed by a message from Colonel, I forgot his name, Colonel Gwyn, that he is sending 2 more agents to join you. Agents Huron and Agent Puck. Okay, but he says one word of warning. Agent Puck is not a member of Delta Green. Agent Puck is a member of Pisces.
Ooh.
What's Pisces?
That's the British lot that you had some dealings with, and that strange woman who rather freaked out Agent Jones. Okay, let's cut to the aeroplane. Before you've got on it, Agent Huron,
Yep.
you have been briefed by alone by Agent Gwyn that you are to keep an eye on Agent Puck, because Agent Puck works for an allied organization. Well, it's fairly obvious from Agent Puck's accent that he's British, and is our sort of partner agency in Britain called Pisces. He works for them, and he has been he's joined this mission because of some special skills he has, but he does not report. He reports to me on this mission, but he does ultimately not report to me. And there have been concerns in some elements of Delta Green, that Pisces has been infiltrated by cult organizations. So if you notice anything at all suspicious that is against the mission objectives, please report it. I will brief the other Delta Green agents on site for this same situation. And he has a quick conversation with the rest of you while the plane is in flight, informing you that Agent Puck is to be regarded as a trusted member of the team and treated such. But if Agent Puck is doing anything strange, then please make note of it and report it, and keep an eye on what is going on.
Understood, sir.
And so this is said to all of you, yeah? Okay. So late on Thursday the 14th of April, a American Air Force transport aircraft lands, and two more people come off and are met off the plane and brought into your. Do you remember you're at Kirkuk Base Air Base? You've got a secure compound that's, just in case anyone needs a reminder, it's sorry, I don't need to move you across. So you've got this secure base here, TF01132. Oh, that's one thing. That's your. You remember you're set up as a CIA project, and that one thing. There's a record of this. There's a record that TF01132 requested a missile strike in Mosul. Okay, so that is something that is tagged to that mission ID. Okay, but also there, if you remember, you've got several sort of mobile offices fixed together, and you had a couple of containers attached to it, yeah, and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so your two new recruits are brought in, escorted into the. Is it me? I do think it.
No, it was triggering Bruce's mic when it happened.
I can hear it as well.
Yeah.
Well, it stopped now, Bruce. I don't think you need to mute yourself.
He's scared.
I'll tell you
Right.
what, if we hear it again whilst he's muted, then we know it's Andy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
will
yeah.
have we will have confirmed the culprit.
Yes. Anyway, right. So Huron and Puck are shown into the mobile classroom. Mobile office. And do you want to do some descriptions and introductions?
Sure.
Okay.
You can start, Agent Puck.
Okay. Agent Puck is slightly over 6 feet tall, very slender and gangly. He's probably about somewhere between 55 and 60 years old, with a weather-beaten face and black hair streaked with grey, heavily streaked with grey. He has very sharp eyes and an immediately friendly demeanour as he approaches. As soon as he opens his mouth, very obviously English, he speaks with a proper home counties accent, which on a side note will be good because my accent won't be quite so jarring with my own accent. Immediately presents himself and says, "Yes, I understand I'm to call myself Agent Puck in your company, so pleased to meet you and offer to shake people's hands." Definitely has a completely non-military bearing. He's dressed, let's see, he's dressed in a bits of a suit that have been taken off because it's hot here.
Well, as I say, if you look in the character list, there's actually you can actually see the bio and info. There's a picture of Agent Puck.
Yeah,
And I'm imagining he's in those clothes, isn't he?
probably yes.
Not quite the tweed suit with elbow patches then.
No, I decided to dress up.
Ah, well, yeah.
Yes, anyway, as you understand, a bit of an unusual situation by being here and all that. Well, I understand you require some slightly specialised skills in dealing with, well, you'll have to tell me all about it, because I've been told specifically that you need some language skills and a very unusual skill that I happen to possess. Is that correct?
Languages, yes. And can you do the goofy woo-woo shit?
Yes. I assume that's
Excellent.
what you're referring to hypergeometry, yes?
Sure. Magic.
A little.
Yeah, I'm Agent Farmer. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Yes.
And
And
you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other individual, Agent Huron, is around 6 feet, late 20s, early 30s. Very obviously CIA or like some form of special forces. Dressed up pretty similar to how you've seen a lot of the Peshmerga that you've dealt with. And very thick beard and distinctly Slavic in terms of features. Pleasure to be working with you, Agent Huron. I heard you needed some muscle. Well, that's me.
Excellent.
I'd just like to carry on and point out that one thing is that Puck is English. He doesn't look particularly particularly Middle Eastern or anything at all. He's got dark hair and a beard, so from a distance you could probably pass him off if you put him in the right clothes. But he's going to be a fish out of water.
And the rest of you would know from your experiences and your briefing and your knowledge. Yes, there are Westerners, English people as well, in the Islamic State Daesh territory, who are members of Islamic State Daesh. But someone of Puck's age would be extremely rare. So someone a Westerner who's travelled to the Islamic State territory of his age would be very, very odd. That would stick out. But from a distance, he could quite happily look to be
I could
look
pass
to be-
myself off as a scholar.
Yeah.
I am a scholar, in actual fact, by trade. I don't think that's any kind of a secret. Yes, I speak Latin and Aramaic pretty fluently. A couple of other languages much less fluently, and Arabic, of course. Could be the lingua franca of the group, perhaps. Also, in terms of hypergeometry, can you give me an exact description of what you require?
I think we all look at Jones.
Yeah.
There's a ritual. It's closing the breach.
Yes, okay. Yes, that's the one. That's why I was contacted. They did say that.
Now,
I know it, and I have used it precisely twice. The second time I used it, I nearly died. The first time I used it, I have no recollection of what happened, but I'm told it worked.
2 more times than we've used it.
also, you do still right when you cast closing the breach, you need to have studied the particular version of it
Coming to
for
that, yes.
the entity. So you would, yeah, okay. So all right, I'll let you carry on. Then you're aware of that, yeah.
Yes, so it will come up in conversation as we talk about it. But if I'm to use this particular piece of hypergeometry to try and then remove this entity, you're going to have to tell me all. Well, first you need to fill me and Huron in on everything that's going on and what it is we're dealing with. Then I need all the information you have, because you can't just. The ritual needs customizing for the entity that that you have to deal with.
Hawk sticks a laptop in front of the pair of them with all the files that she's compiled about all the data that we've had, all the pictures, all the evidence she's gathered, and just sticks it in front of them and leaves the room.
I say, do you want to start tackling it now or catch up with some rest?
Well, I'll get straight on with it.
Let's do this.
Just in game mechanics terms, you already know the ritual, so you don't have to make any dice rolls to learn it.
It will require days of study, however.
But it,
Yeah, and I lose 1d4 sanity as well. This is never going to work. I'm going to go mad before I can do anything.
you did knock all the sanity points off. I told you to.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you did. Yeah.
Anyway, that's what
Mhm.
Agent Jones
Yeah, sure.
will do.
Oh, so he's very convivial.
And he hasn't seemed to have been particularly like, hey, how are you, and all the rest of it. It's like, you'll be dead in 24 hours anyway, so let's just get on with it, right?
Ooh,
He's been similarly distant
Jones is
from everyone.
Jones has been
Very much
completely
just like, we're all
disillusioned
gonna
after this
fucking
recent
die.
incident.
You very very rapidly become the cynical veteran.
This doesn't seem like it's worth getting to know somebody. I mean, I might be dead, they might be dead. You know, they've got a job to do. Let's crack on.
We're on the same wavelength.
Character development, wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, Huron will be looking over all the stuff related to physical threats like SV8. The forces that we've noticed have been aligned with the Father of War in terms of conventional forces, and the weapons reports on effect against the obsidian shards.
Okay. Just because Chris and Nick, you haven't really had a chance to comment on it as players, but that handout, because I know you've had a chance to discuss everything else. I just need to nip for a quick bio break, but I don't know if you've got any other views on any of the handouts. Most obviously that most recent one,
Mhm.
but I'm just going to nip away a sec. Have a chat amongst yourselves for a sec. Back in a sec.
I will take a look at that. Let's see.
So
So,
we're just gonna bomb the place, right?
but it's
Oh, no.
definitely an option.
No.
We could make it a small nuke.
Yeah.
Tiny nuke.
Yeah. The
Get
thing is,
rid
we
of
have to-
Mosul, it's fine. Deal with the problems.
as long as we nuke it from orbit, we're fine.
Yeah.
It's the only safe way.
Just to be
The only
sure.
way to be sure.
Yeah.
To be sure.
So, Mr. CIA man, letters man. You're some sort of letters man.
Yes,
What
I
sort
do
of
occasionally work for the CIA. Yes.
Mr. Letters man? Oh, you said you were the muscle. You're the muscle who makes things go away. But do they go away in big explosions, or do they go away quietly?
I'm versed in a multitude of ways of unaliving things.
Right.
I have
Also
demolitions
frequent TikTok.
experience, weapons specialty. I'm a weapons specialist, in particular small arms. I'm qualified to drive multiple different types of armored vehicle. And I have some amount of medical training.
Okay. And have you dealt with things that go bump in the night before?
No.
Right. You just dealt with people that go bump in the night.
I am the person who goes bump in the night.
Okay. Good to
Do an
know.
insight check in this game.
Yeah.
Human intelligence.
Human roll. What do you want to do?
I do
Human roll?
human. What?
Human roll on who?
On fucking
Huron.
Huron. Being a weirdo. Probably on the pair of
In
them,
full
to be honest.
transparency,
At the course of the couple of days or hours that we're together, yeah.
Yeah. By that point, I'll probably have mentioned I'm a sad SOG operative that's been embedded with the Peshmerga since probably around 2012, I'd imagine. Like, we haven't really worked that out in backstory, but I'd imagine. I've been deployed to this region for longer than that, but I cannot go into those details.
Okay.
And actually, CIA sad SOG, a mention of that probably means nothing to Hawk or Jones, or Puck. Sandman and Farmer will probably know that that's a CIA sort of CIA direct action team. Is that probably the best way to describe it?
Yeah, they're the direct action element of the CIA.
Okay.
I'm basically the CIA's version of Sandman.
Okay.
Okay.
Two Sandmans, gotcha.
So I will immediately, set about what I've been brought here to do, which is to set about reading this stuff on the computer. I will look at the original tablets when I learn that they're available as well. Probably consider that preferable and more exciting. I should probably get quite excited by the whole prospect of the original tablets, in actual fact, as far as possible, and the contacts you've made. And
Now
I
you
forgot,
didn't.
What was the name of the lady they met in London? Yeah, sorry.
Oh my God. Hang on a sec.
Emily
Anyway,
Hale.
when you mentioned Emily Hale, oh yes, you met Emily.
Hale.
Lovely
Emily
lady, isn't she?
Hale.
Lovely girl. You met Emily, lovely girl, isn't she? Bit intense.
My mic working. Can people hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just checking.
Right.
I'll also fill the guys, the rest of the team in that. Firstly, I will probably need to study the information that we have in the hopes that you manage to gather enough information for probably 3 days, maybe 4.
Right.
In order to customize the ritual adequately. Secondly, just to be aware that when I have to conduct the ritual in the vicinity of the entity, and it takes about an hour.
An hour.
An hour.
Does the entity need to be there all the time, or just at the end of it?
Well, that's not 100% clear. Andy, is that clear?
Just at the end of it, it has to be physically present when you finalise the ritual.
Okay.
So possibly containment might be an issue, as well as possibly it, or I understand it has minions. It's minions trying to stop it.
I mean, even on its own, we probably could only buy you a couple of minutes.
I mean, could you hold the spell until we get it to us?
Doubt it very much, Andy.
I'm just rereading it.
I don't think it works like that. Sorry.
Oh, bugger. Okay.
Sounds like you need to make a trap. Something for it to come to us.
So we're back to using the amphora as bait then.
I think
The
so.
throne of blood.
Amphora, a person, Jabiri maybe.
It does seem to be an object that the creature, for lack of a better word, desires. It would make a good focal point for
I'm not sure how that buys us
an
an
ambush
hour.
or trap.
Well, if we're far enough away that we can calculate how long it would take for it to get to us. Is
Very
it
much.
aware of the
If we
ritual being done once you start it?
There is another ritual which can be used to summon creatures. So we could
Then-
potentially.
So we could completely control it, control the area. We could go off into the middle of nowhere.
Go back
Set
to
up.
go back to what's his name's Hassoon's house.
let's see what
Yeah.
I was thinking. Would his downstairs bunker be airtight? Someone into that.
It is if you fill it with concrete.
Then get out of that, and then we can conduct the ritual in relatively calm upstairs.
So I actually have a question for Andy here.
Sorry, can I
It
just
wasn't airtight, was it? Because it
Uh,
had like a vent, didn't it?
Yep.
That we
I'll
could-
let you look
Oh,
that up
thanks.
first. Yeah.
Okay. So, are we talking about going back to? I actually quite like the idea of going back to Hassan's place. It's a known place. Do we know how fast this entity will get here when we do the summoning, or does it just there when you finish the summoning?
Does anyone know how to summon it?
No, I don't think we learnt that ritual. I'm just saying it was a list of rituals that we discovered, and one of them was the ability to summon entities. So I think there was some discussion at some point, or maybe it was just me thinking in my head that if we wanted to control the situation, we could potentially summon it. But if that went wrong,
right? The
I mean,
phraseology. Oh, sorry, Bruce. Apologies. The phraseology on the closing the breach spell says and must be activated near the effect to be stopped. Okay, so you don't have to be in its presence. You have to be relatively nearby. So you could potentially go somewhere close to the ruins of Nineveh and then do it there.
Yeah, that's definition of proximate near. What's near is near a mile near, or 100 meters near, or within our visual range of it near, in the vicinity of.
I'm going to have to check on that and come back to you.
Okay, so Andy, can you check on the?
Sorry, there's
wording
also something else, Chris. Just so you fully understand this, yeah.
Yeah.
It requires willpower points to banish it. Yeah. If that's more those willpower points can come from other people who are assisting you in the casting.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. You read that. Sorry. Okay. Apologies. There were several other people trying to ask questions. Apologies. What were those?
Yeah, the summoning. Does the creature appear at the end of the summoning spell, or does it have to travel there?
Is there loading time on the summon?
Yeah.
The slightly unhelpful answer is you've got to study the spell a bit.
But yeah, we assumed that.
Yeah.
To even before. I mean,
To answer that question, we need to know more about
study the spell of it.
character.
Yeah. Now, hang on a sec. I need to. One thing, by the way, the Agent Puck, the tablets you've got are a partial set, for closing the breach, if I remember correctly. But actually, for your purposes of understanding the entity, the combination of the tablets plus the photographs of the missing ones is sufficient for your research. Okay. So you don't have the problems, some of the problems that
Were plaguing us earlier.
the car was having. Yeah. Okay. Now, the summoning spell is call forth those from outside, if I remember correctly.
Sounds about right.
And that, right, those are on the tablets in Aramaic, or is it also in the journals as well that Jones has been studying?
I don't recall. I think when we got the list, it wasn't itemised by destination or source.
Where is the list?
It was a handout at some point.
Artifacts and research. There's a section called artifacts and research, and there's a thing called rituals on the tablets, which is that. Another one, rituals in text, which is that. So, unfortunately, call forth those from outside is on the tablets and therefore in Aramaic. Sorry, not Aramaic. Who speaks Arcadian?
I do.
Oh, so so I'm getting myself confused.
Okay.
You don't have the problems with the tablets because you're not actually looking at the tablets for the Aramaic version of the Closing of the Breach. That's in the text in the Journals of Tariq Rassam. Sorry, I swapped those around. So yeah. The rituals on the template. Right. So call forth those from outside. You've got a partial set. If you get the access to the tablets in the Baghdad Museum, that will complete that ritual. If you want to try and learn that, you have photographs of those, so you can attempt it with what you have, but it is more difficult.
Closing the breach, I could have learnt that one as well if we'd gone to the Baghdad Museum.
Yeah, but you had a full version of it in Aramaic in the journal, which is why Khar was doing that.
Cool, but the summoning one is only on the. So that's an option. I'm not particularly.
Certainly something that's on the table.
Yeah. But in answer to from what you have discovered the spell. You haven't learnt it. In answer to the question of sorry, hang on a sec.
I still feel slightly uneasy we don't understand the link between the M4 and the entity. I think without really understanding that, we could be, I don't know.
Yes.
Crucial to failure or success.
If I
sorry, so can I just start? Apologies, Chris. Can I just answer a question first that was asked? The call forth those from outside causes the entity called to manifest is the word used. So it doesn't come to you, it appears in your presence.
Okay.
Is the logical conclusion that comes from that.
What, like a image rather than it's...
No, it physically starts to manifest in front of you when you start as part of the ritual. It doesn't. You don't cast the ritual and then it rushes towards you.
Oh yeah, no, I call it like a teleportation to you, sort of.
Yeah, or a gate if it's in a different plane or whatever. If in D&D
Yeah,
terms.
that's why I thought it would be useful to control it, because we
Yeah.
could set the tone and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
somebody
Someone was asking whether it appeared or whether it came running towards you.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. It was actually Tom's question.
Yeah.
Apologies. Right. Okay. Sorry. So else? Chris had a question, and did Nick have a question as well? Who was?
Yes, I
Go on,
did
Nick.
have a.
Go on, Nick.
Yeah, my question was, when we set all this up, could I leverage some of my Peshmerga contacts to get a little extra muscle on the scene if necessary to pull like perimeter security around the site?
You could definitely. Yes. You you have Peshmerga contacts, so yes, you can attempt to get some additional support if needed. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
There will be some dice rolls in that. Have you got the skill
Yeah.
military science?
I should, yes. Let me just double check that. I have so many
I mean,
so many
can always
handouts
help.
up right now.
I could always help you with that. Obviously, these
Yeah,
are
I have 50 in military science land.
Yeah. You can make a straight dice roll for that. In fact, actually, with 50 and your contact, you can do that automatically. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's half skill. Right. Okay. I think Chris had a question as well.
Just actually an in-game thing. Actually, I mean, I'm studying these texts and talking to these guys, and you may not want to get to know me, Agent Jones, but I'm going to be talking to you a lot because you're the other scholar in the group. Can I put together any ideas in character? Because I have no real idea what this connection is. Can I get an idea from this information I'm getting here? I'm studying it for 3 days or more of what the connection is between the entity and the throne. I mean, if I'm saying call the throne of blood, it clearly wants it. There's clearly a connection there. Can I work it out?
Right.
If you want to answer that question next time, that's fine.
yeah.
I will. I will require some dice rolls from both Jones and Puck, because I think this is something you two discussing together. Well, actually, hang on a sec. Let's just. Sorry, let me look at a character sheet a sec. Right. Okay, that's Puck. Right. Sorry, Puck. I've just noticed your occult skill.
Yeah. It was already quite good, and then you gave me more.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Right. Jones, please make me an occult skill check. You can have plus 20 on this, sorry, because you're working with, right. You may tick occult. But
Not necessarily something you want to hear so much in this version of basic role playing, is it? You may tick it. Damn, didn't.
right.
We had an 84% chance.
I looked at the wrong character. Hang on a sec. I've just looked at the wrong character. Where's Jones gone? So you've got good occult as well.
Failed.
Okay. Right.
Oh, failed.
Right. I shall give you some more information. I'm gonna write up as a handout about what you've been able to draw about the connection between the Tome of Blood and the Father of War. Okay. That is probably a good point to leave it, if that's okay, because we're over time now. So thank you for everyone watching. They will hopefully, assuming schedules are a little bit kinder to us than they've been in the last few weeks, there'll be another episode hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. But thank you for watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much. Bye bye.
Good day, folks.
Hey.
Sorry.